So today I've got Sonny here. So Sonny's a 2-year-old. You guys have probably seen him. He's a pretty wild stallion. I like this horse a lot. He's pretty cool. He's kind of a bud of mine. And we're gonna work. I want to talk a little bit about the rundown. So I think there's two things, and I'm not sure if we're going to cover them both with this horse, or if I'll use a different horse to cover another part of it, or maybe we'll talk about it with two different horses, and you'll see two different videos kind of on the same thing, a little bit, you know, a little different, because I've got two stud colts here that move entirely different. Just their whole carriage, their whole way of going is very, very different. And still, they're going to both be amazing show horses. They're both going to run down really good and be really cool. But in my mind, there's kind of two things that I've come to with these 2-year-olds in the rundown. And one, I want right off the bat, I need them to stay off that outside rein. So, you know, I see problems happening where I feel them, I have them, you know, most of the time. I also learn really good by my own mistakes, I'd like to think. So when you turn the corner, I see it a lot, and I have it a lot, where they kind of bow around the end, you know, and they push that rib cage out. So I think it's exceptionally important to turn the corner and come off that outside rein and stand that horse up straight before you put your foot on the gas, before you send him down the pen. And so I'm going to work a little bit on that, and just making that corner really crisp. This is a 2-year-old that's already getting pretty broke. I mean, he knows all the basics. He knows how to do everything at a certain level, and I'm very happy with where he's at. But you know, it's fun at this point in a 2-year-old year to already start thinking about those little things, like how they turn the corner and how they come off that outside rein and how they stand up straight when you put your foot on the gas. So that's the first thing. The second thing that I've found, and that's what I've just learned over time with my own horses, is that these horses really have a lot of get up and go. You got a fly over here? What's going on? They have a lot of get up and go, and they can really go down the pen, but the brakes are built into them so naturally that I've struggled. You know, I can get one to run really cool on a draped rein and hang them out there, and they really trust my body, they trust my leg, they really ride off my seat good. But I've found that I really have to get better at handling their face and being able to handle them and let them go without the rhythm of their front feet changing. And I think on the good stoppers, you sometimes have that feeling when you turn the corner and you run down the pen, you're a little afraid to handle them or steer them or take a hold of them, because if they're a really good solid stopper, you know, they kind of get that feeling like if you pick your hand up and touch their face, they just slow up that little bit. And I hate that feeling. I find then when you go to kick on them, you have to chase them back up. You know, you take a hold of them a little bit and steer on them or guide them in the rundown, and you lose that real honest, smooth run stretch all the way down to the stop. And so that's the second thing, is I'm just working on picking a rhythm with that horse and being able to handle his face and let him go, and handle his face and let him go, and putting that leg on as I pick my hands up and making sure that his front feet stay the same. And so I'm going to work on that with this colt. I'm not sure if I'll work on both of them with this one, or if we'll come back in another video with another colt and work on a similar idea, just in a different way. But they've got to turn the corner real crisp and come off that outside rein and stand up straight before you put your foot on the gas. And they've got to take your guidance. You have to be able to handle them when you're running down the pen, and make sure that they're going to keep that rhythm in their body and stay loose and relaxed without tensing up when you touch their face. So I think naturally when I start on a horse like that, when I want them to come off that outside rein and keep their feet moving, I start already at the walk. You know, as I'm walking that horse around and just warming him up, I kind of draw with that outside rein, and I put my outside leg on, and I just push on him until he steps up. You see him step up there like that? I just push on them until I can take that outside rein, and they kind of pick up and step into the bridle rather than getting weird in their face or losing that rhythm. I want to be able to put my leg on and ride him up into that bridle. Even here in the hackamore, I mean, he's that light. I mean, I'm not pulling on him by any means, but I want to be able to ride him up into the hackamore like that and have him give me his face and keep his feet moving, and just be able to push on him without him losing his rhythm. So I start, and I'll take that left rein and put my left leg on and kind of push him up there a little bit and make him step up and step around. You know, and take my reins again. And you see, he almost will trot up into his face a little bit when I take hold of him. And I like that feeling on a big stopper. You know, I might ride this horse different if he was the kind that was busy-footed and busy-minded and really was thinking about going fast all the time. I might not push him through his face and ask him to be really soft and loose. But this is a big, strong colt that has lots of brakes, you know. So already now, when I pick my hand up, I'm drawing that rein back on the outside, reach back and ask him to push up into the bridle. And when he takes that step, there, you see, I just let him go. He even trots out of there a little bit. I just want to get to the point where if I turn the corner and put that outside leg on, he's going to step up and go straight down the pen. You know, so that's something on these 2-year-olds. When you get on, you start to push on them a little bit. When you put that outside leg on, you draw with that outside rein, they'll step up into that a little bit. If he loses his rhythm and spins on me too much, I'll put that inside leg on and just push him up there. So that's something, you know, see, I'll start to push on him. So he'll step up into the bridle there and stay soft. And that way, even at the trot, I can hang him out there or I can draw on him and we don't lose any rhythm. You know, see, he'll almost lope up into the bridle like that. Just that easy. You know, and I just take that outside rein and push him up there. You see, he almost lope into that. And I like that softness. Scared to poop right out of him. Shoot. You know, but here I like to be able to push him up there. I'm barely taking hold of his face, but I can push him up into his face and he doesn't lose that rhythm. He almost is going to lope anyways, you know, and I'm actually going to work on that, make sure he doesn't. I just want him to trot, you know, but if I take hold of that outside of his face, you see him push up there and stay soft. You know, if I hang him out there and let him go, he's going to just cruise. When I go and draw on his face, you see him step up in the bridle there a little bit? That's a good horse. You know, if you go down the pen and you got to handle him, if you got to handle him at all in your rundown, you better step up to his face and not suck back or get behind it. You know, if I take that outside rein, you see he steps up there, almost lopes off just that easy. And that way I know I can turn the corner and send him down the pen and he's going to probably run a little more honest and true. There, I'll take hold, put my leg on, push him up there again. Whoa. So you can see there a little bit, you know, just right from the get-go, I want to come away from that outside rein and have him stand up straight, and then I release him and send him up there forward. All right, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to pick up the lope and I'm going to run him in a rectangle, and you'll see I'm going to turn the corner, but very much I'm going to focus on my outside rein as I turn the corner. I'm going to draw him pretty square around the ends, and you might find that, you know, he struggles a little bit or he doesn't step up the way I'd like him to. If that's the case, I'm going to keep that outside leg on and I'm going to push him up into his face until he really gives me his shoulder and his face, and once he relaxes, then you'll see I'll sit back and kind of hang him out there. And as long as he keeps his shoulder up and lopes good, I'm going to leave him alone, okay? So I'm going to lope him off on the left lead. We're going to take a little outside rein, reach back with that outside leg. I kind of set him up. I'm going to kiss to him when I'm ready, but right now I don't want him to overthink it either, you know? So just kind of wait for it. Wait for it. See, he's a little bit anticipating because, you know, you got him stepping up into the bridle pretty good, even in this hackamore. There we go. So I'm going to lope straight down. When I draw on him, I'm going to take that outside rein and push on him. And you'll be able to watch. He'll elevate and kind of lean on me. And when he gives me his face, I'm going to let him out. Let him run. If he leans there, I take that outside rein and push him in. And make sure when I turn the corner that he's coming off that outside rein. See, and then I want to be able to handle him on the way down. This is a fresh 2-year-old. You know, I didn't really warm him up. But we'll just watch and see as he runs. You see, he's going to drift to the outside. So I've got to take that outside rein and keep him in and push him up. And once he gives me his body here, then I let him go. Lift him again. You know, if you stay straight. You see, I touched his face and he kind of quits on me. So I'm going to handle him a little bit. Make sure I can get him up there. When he gives me his face there at the end, let him go again. And pretty soon he'll start to settle. He's still pushing a little bit there, about halfway. Push him up, right leg. Let him out, sit back. Pick up that right rein. Woo! He went in really nice there. So I'm just gonna leave him alone, let him come back around. Right rein, right leg, push him up there. When he gets straight, leave him alone. Here I'm gonna pick up that right rein. He's pushing on me. So I'll just wait for him, make him work for it. Right rein, push that hip up under, push, 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 push. Make him work for it. There, he settles in. Ooh. And we'll let him sit there just for a little second, because that felt pretty good. When I lope him off, I want him to just step up. I don't want him to fall in with his shoulder because I put my outside leg on. So I'm really teaching him left rein, left leg, and he wants to lean on me a little bit. I'll push him up. There, when he steps up with that shoulder, I just let him run straight. But when I take that outside rein, I want him to step his body up into that turn. So left rein, push. When he straightens it out, I let him run. I'll put my leg on, draw on his face a little bit, see what we got. Got a little crooked. He wanted to fall in, but I'm actually just going to take him and push him up there instead of trying to fix that little bit of falling in. I'm just going to push on him, you know, and push his hip a little more underneath me. That's pretty nice. He starts to hang out there. Take here again, left rein, left leg. Make him step up. There, you see his shoulders lift, and then he gives you that neck. And you see his shoulders lift, and he gives me his neck. And pretty soon, he can run down the pen, and he just hangs there. And I'll take that, push that hip, push the hip, push the hip. Make him work, let him go. Left rein, left leg, push that hip up, make him work, let him go. And pretty soon, you can hang him out there. Whoa. And they start to just have a little bit of feel where when you put your outside leg on, you see, and I'm going to take him, roll him back just for the fun. They have that little bit of feel when you reach the outside leg. They don't fall in with the shoulder as much as they step up with their hip. And just step right up into that, you know. There, he still wants to push on that right side a little bit, so we're going to go there a little harder. Push on him a little more. There. You see, when he gives me his neck, I just leave him alone. Draw on him here a little bit, put my leg on, push him up, reach back. Don't let him fall in with that shoulder, you know. If he wants to fall in, push him up, push him up, push him up till he gets straight. Then when he gives you that neck, you can leave him. You see, he starts turning the corner and running down like that. We can deal with that all day long. But you'll see when I take that outside rein, see now I'm one hand in the hackamore. When I take that outside rein, he wants to drop into there. If he starts to lean, I take that outside rein, push that hip in, wait for it, wait for it, wait for it, wait for it, wait for it. Okay, see, he'll find it, he'll find it, he'll find that spot. There it is. And you just let him hang out all the way down the pen. See, now when I pick up and touch the outside of his face, his body comes through really good. Whoa. Woo, that's crooked. Same thing there. You can take, push them up, and all of a sudden they drop in the bridle. So when you turn that corner, they do that right there. They turn in really square, and you can hang them out down the pen. Just let them run. You take hold of him down here, push his hip in, push his hip in, push his hip in, make him step up, there. Take that outside rein, push. When they step up straight, hang them out there, leave them alone. And so I think it's really important on these 2-year-olds that you start being able to take hold of that outside of that horse and push him up. You're not just taking that counterbend and letting him quit on you. You see, he doesn't get a release until he steps up right there and gets straight. You see, I can take that inside rein, I can lift him off, but if I start doing that too much, we're going to lose that drive and we're going to run into the problems of him waiting for that inside rein. So I need to be able to take that outside rein and have him step up like that when I put my leg on. Easy, easy. There we go. Easy. Easy. So that's just a little tip there, you know, for coming off that corner and making sure already these 2-year-olds start to know that if you reach back with that outside leg, they need to step up and come away from that outside rein with some feel. You know, take that outside rein. They need to step up like that, take that outside rein. You see, and that'll come into your turn because they need to come away from that outside rein. When you pick it up, they need to be able to come there too. But today's really about turning the corner, and if they want to drop that shoulder in, you just reach back further and put your foot on the gas and drive that hip up there to straighten them up. And I find if you just keep that outside rein and you drive them up there, they'll get that hip up underneath that shoulder and they'll push up from behind, and you start to release them and you can see that. You turn the corner and they just drop their neck into that rundown. So this colt's gonna need a lot of backing off and stuff. You know, he wants to run pretty low-headed, but I really like the way that his shoulders lift up when you get him up and lifted there, and I think he's gonna be a great colt. So let me know what you guys think. I think that's a little thing that just kind of, I don't know, I see a lot of going around the corner and everybody's bowing out and that horse kind of pushes out on the outside. And I think if you start with your 2-year-olds here already and you get them off that outside rein and you really turn them square and then send them down the pen, if you teach them to step up into the bridle and keep that shoulder up and lift it up into here when you put that outside leg on, I think you turn the corner really crisp and run down. And then, you know, you don't have any problems when you turn the corner to start your rundown. You don't come around the end with your hand way over here trying to pull that horse around the corner.